If you are aspiring to secure admission into Federal University of Technology, Akure, FUTA, you really don't want to skip this video. Let me tell you something very honestly. Every year in Nigeria, thousands of students write JAMB, score 250, and even 280 and still don't get admission. Not because they are not smart, but because they don't understand how admission actually works. So if you are planning to gain admission into the Federal University of Technology, Akure, FUTA, then this video might be one of the most important videos you'll watch this year. Because in this video, I'm not just going to give you surface information, I'm going to walk you through everything, step by step. From requirements to cutoff marks, to how FUTA actually selects students. Even the mistakes that quietly disqualify students without them knowing. So by the end of this video, you won't just be another aspirant, you'll understand the system. Before we go deep, let me quickly show you what we'll cover in this video so you know exactly what you're about to learn. We'll talk about the full admission requirements for FUTA, the truth about cutoff marks, not what you hear online, all the schools and courses available in FUTA, the different ways you can gain admission, how the admission process works step by step, how your aggregate score is calculated, departmental cutoffs and competition, subject combination, mistakes that ruin admission, direct entry and pre-degree options, important updates like the MBBS situation, school fees and financial expectations, catchment area advantage, physical screening and required documents, smart strategies to increase your chances, and even alternative courses most students ignore. So this is not just a video, this is a complete guide. Now let's start from the beginning. FUTA simply means the Federal University of Technology, Akure, one of Nigeria's most prestigious technology-driven institutions. It is one of the top technology-focused universities in Nigeria, located in Akure, Ondo State. And if you've heard people say tech giants, that's what FUTA students are proudly called. The school has two major gates, the South Gate and the North Gate. Most of the major academic and administrative activities happen around the South Gate. Now let's talk about what it takes to even qualify for admission. First, you must be at least 16 years old by the time of admission. Then your O level. You need a minimum of 5 credits, including English language and mathematics, but don't be deceived by the word credit. Securing admission into this prestigious institution is a real competition. Having A or B is highly recommended in your core 5 subjects. In case you don't know, securing admission into any higher institution is not based on score but on ranking. However, O level must not be more than 2 sittings. But here's something very important that many students ignore. You must choose FUTA as your first choice in JAMB. FUTA does not joke with this. If you didn't choose them as first choice, you won't even be considered. Now let's talk about cutoff marks, and this is where many students get it wrong. Yes, FUTA's general JAMB cutoff is usually around 180. But let me be very honest with you, that number means almost nothing when it comes to actual admission, because admission is not based on the general cutoff, it is based on competition. For courses like software engineering, computer engineering, electrical engineering, you should be thinking 250 and above. For medicine, well, even though it's currently suspended, you're looking at extremely high competition. So don't aim to just pass, aim to stand out. Now here is how FUTA calculates your aggregate score. Very important. Let me show you something that many students don't understand, and this is one of the biggest reasons people lose admission. FUTA uses an aggregate system. Your score is calculated like this. Your JAMB score is divided by 8. Your Post-UTME score is divided by 2. Then both are added together. That gives you your final score over 100. But FUTA has a way of putting your O-level result into consideration, which is also a strong determinant if you will gain admission into the institution or be given your desired course. So let's say someone scores high in JAMB but performs poorly in Post-UTME. Another student with a slightly lower JAMB score but a strong Post-UTME can overtake them. That's why I always say UTME score alone is not enough, and this is where many students get confused because they are trying to figure everything out on their own. Not just for FUTA, but for different schools, different systems, different rules. That's exactly why I created a complete admission blueprint, where I broke down how this entire system works. Not just FUTA, but how to actually position yourself to get admission in Nigeria. I'll show you how to get it later. Let's continue. Schools and courses in FUTA. FUTA doesn't use the regular faculty system. They use what they call schools. You have School of Engineering and Engineering Technology, SCET. School of Computing, SOCI. School of Sciences, SOS. School of Environmental Technology, SCT. School of Agriculture, SAAT. School of Management Technology, SMAT. School of Health and Health Technology, SHSD. Each of these contains multiple departments, and the level of competition varies depending on the course. Modes of entry. There are different ways to enter FUTA. The most common is UTME, but that's not the only option. You also have direct entry for people with ND, HND, IJMB, JUPB, or A-level results. Then there's pre-degree, a 1-year program run by the Center for Continuing Education. If you perform well there, your chances of getting admission are very high into 100 level. There's also open and distance learning, currently available for computer science. So if one path doesn't work, you still have options. Let's talk about departmental cutoffs. These are not fixed, they change every year depending on performance. But from previous trends, top courses usually fall between 70 to 80% aggregate, mid-range courses around 60 to 65, and others around 50 to 55. And here's something you must understand: even if you meet the cutoff, you are still competing with others who scored higher. Subject combination, a silent killer. This one is painful because many students don't even know they made this mistake. For most FUTA courses, your subjects should include English, mathematics, physics, and chemistry. If you get this wrong, even if you score 280, you can still be disqualified. For direct entry candidates, if you're using ND or HND, you need at least upper credit for competitive courses. JAMB or JUPEB candidates should have around 10 to 12 points. And your O level still matters. Pre-degree advantage. The program runs for about 9 months. If you score above 50% and meet the JAMB requirements, you have a very strong chance of getting admission. Now this is very important. FUTA has suspended admission into medicine and surgery, MBBS, for the 2026 session. So if you chose FUTA for medicine, you need to change your institution immediately. School fees reality. FUTA is a federal university, so tuition is technically free, but there are service charges. Fresh students pay around 258,000 naira, while returning students pay between 40,000 naira to 80,000 naira. Catchment area advantage. FUTA also uses catchment areas. States like Ondo, Ekiti, Lagos, Ogun, Asan, and Oyo have some level of advantage. Then there's merit and also educationally less developed states, ELDS, in consideration. So admission is not just about score. It's also about structure. Physical screening. Once admitted, you'll need to come for physical clearance with documents like JAMB admission letter, O-level results, birth certificate, local government ID, attestation letter. Missing any of these can delay or affect your registration. Now let me give you real advice. Upload your O-level results early. Prepare seriously for post-UTME. Monitor your JAMB caps regularly. And be open to change of course if necessary. Sometimes that change is what saves your admission. If your score isn't high enough for top courses, you can consider options like remote sensing and geoinformatics, information systems, quantity surveying, food science. These courses have strong value, but less competition. Let me end this with something very real. Everything you've heard in this video is just FUTA, just one school. Now imagine trying to figure out different schools, different cutoff, different strategies, and different mistakes on your own. That's why many students try every year and still don't get admission. Not because they didn't try, but because they didn't understand the system. That's exactly why I created the admission blueprint. Inside it, I broke down everything. Why students don't get admission, how the system actually works, how to choose the right course in school, and how to increase your chances strategically. If you're serious about getting admission this year, don't leave it to guesswork. Send guide now to 081002777030 on WhatsApp. It's just 2,500 naira. And honestly, that might be the difference between moving forward this year or staying at home again. Comment your UTME score if you are an aspirant of Federal University of Technology, Akure. Also, let's know the institution you want us to discuss next.